What's up, guys? Back here with another video. I haven't made one of these in a while, but I know a couple people are still watching these. And yeah, so I'm going to tell the story of when I tried to move to Los Angeles. And this was about 2 months. I left 2 months ago. And I think you actually can move to LA from a smaller city. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it requires careful planning and you've got to coordinate with other people to make it work. Anyway, getting into the story. I was actually supposed to go to Sacramento, the capital of California, if you don't know, and I was doing a program there called AmeriCorps. However, about 5 weeks beforehand, I was basically like, "Fuck this shit," and I decided to buy a plane ticket to LA. That way, I could, if I didn't make up my mind like I'm moving to LA, but I decided to make a plan for it and buy the ticket so I could go to LA, which I was wanting to do. And I remember looking for jobs, and this was a big mistake. Me not trying to get a job lined up before I went there. That was a very big mistake. If you ever move to a city, always make sure you have a job there. Anyway, I didn't bother. The reason why I didn't decided not to bother with the jobs was because LA is a very big city, and I didn't know where was where. So I just decided to just okay, I'll figure out the geography when I get there. Bad idea. Should not have done that. Anyway, um, I get there, and I have $3,000 saved up, which isn't nothing, but it's not really that much. And yeah, so I get there and I don't want to spend any money, right? I'm trying to get a job. So I'm eating the energy bars that my dad sent me off with. And keep in mind, my parents did not know I was going to LA. They thought I was going to Sacramento. I didn't tell a soul. I did not tell a single person I was going to LA. So yeah, so I spent as little money as possible. Only thing I bought was like a bike so I could get around faster. And I was sleeping on Hilltop Park, which you probably don't know the LA area if you're watching this. So it's basically just like this neighborhood park in this nice little neighborhood by the beach. And I was sleeping there next to the playground underneath this little ramp. And I slept on a sleeping pad that I brought and I was hiding my shit there. I had some valuables that I bought a little kid's backpack. I put them in the valuables in the little kid's backpack. And I was biking all over the city for basically. I was there for 3 days, but like 2 days of biking all over the city looking for a job. And it's not like they weren't like turning me down or anything, but they were like, just hold on a minute, like wait a week, we'll get back to you next week. Well, I can't wait a week because I'm sleeping on a pad in a fucking park, and I'm getting bitten by the Cali ants, which are fucking mean, by the way, every single night. Like, not gonna work. And one time, and then the third night, I pulled it all nighter because I just couldn't even sleep because I'm like, I can't come home. Come home, not really home, but I can't sleep in this shit. And then that's kind of when I got to the point where I was like, okay, technically I could stick it out and wait to get a job, but I decided to kind of like shift this into more of a vacation. And I spent a week in a motel in uh on the Pacific Coastal Highway. It's a really nice place. I mean, it was cheap, but it was really nice. Went to the supermarket and just cooked all my food. Went to the beach. Uh, Bought a computer that I ended up reselling when I got back in town to get the money back. Um, and I had a lot of fun. It was just a vacation, just me kind of. And then my week ran out, and I got kind of in this weird, like, I got scared. I was like, fuck, I just did this. What the heck? Like, what the hell are my parents gonna think? You know? And I was afraid, like, I'm like, I knew I was gonna have to go home, but I was still afraid, like, maybe what can I do, And I spent about 4 days just mentally paralyzed. And I was back on the streets. I spent 2 nights. Actually, I spent 2 nights in the library park bench. And the third night, funny story here. The third night, I slept on the beach. And I had my sleeping bag and sleeping pad. And I went to sleep at a somewhat regular time. And I wake up at 3 a.m. I hear some moaning. And I get up, and there is a man and a woman fucking like 2 feet away from me. And I'm like, what the fuck? They have the entire beach. There's not that many people. There were some people, but they had many other places to fuck besides right next to me. And I was sleeping there. And then the lady starts yelling at me like, you're watching us fuck, you're watching us fuck. It's like, I was sleeping here. Y'all woke me up. I was here first. And then, then I got up, and I don't know if it was them, but next thing you know, I go up because I take a piss because I had to pee in the middle of the night anyway. And I come back, and my shit's gone. And I'm like, fuck. My shit's gone. No sleeping bag, no sleeping pad. Like, oh my god, no blanket. So, all I knew to do, I just hopped on my bike, just went on a bike ride and on the greenway right next to the beach, because they have that in California, because if they just had the beach, then no one would be there because the water's like really cold. So I'm biking up the greenway and seeing the city lights and the beach and at night, and I basically biked until it got light and went to the library and basically just messed around all day. And during these days I ate nothing but beans because it's the cheapest thing you can really eat. I did the math. Actually, calorie per dollar is still cheaper eating beans than the dollar menu, even though I'm factoring in how many calories the food has. It's still the best calorie per dollar deal is beans. Just so you know. However, it was actually, and by the way, on the 4th night of homelessness, I slept in the gym, Anytime Fitness. There's a couch and a TV, and it's open 24/7, but basically from like 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. no one's there, so I slept during those 4 hours, just in case you're curious. And I'm kind of mad at myself because I'm like, fuck, I should have done that the first night, because I got the gym membership, and I used the gym while I was in the hotel, like I'm doing my normal workouts. But other than that, the main reason why I got the gym membership was because I had a place to shower for a job interview, so I'd look somewhat presentable. Because that's all, somewhat presentable is good enough to get whatever type of job I could have got. So that, and then I had this, after eating beans for 4 days, it's when I had the realization that I had to come back home, because I had a really bad stomach ache. Very, very, very bad stomach ache. And, yeah, it was hurting very badly, and there's some other stuff that's basically TMI, so I'm not going to talk about it. And I was bloated so badly that, like, my gut was just like, I looked fucking pregnant. And, then I decided that I had to go home. So I bought a bus ticket back home to Nashville. However, I didn't want to go out all defeated. So I decided to go ahead and spend 2 nights in some guy's bunk bed. In this bunk bed, some guy was renting out a bunk beds in his pool house in Hollywood. And I had enough money to go to Hollywood and spend 2 days there and have a little fun, eat some normal food. I remember actually from eating beans for so many days, I ordered a Chipotle burrito without the beans. And for some of you, that might not seem so weird, but for me, I'm a big bean guy. And for me to order a burrito, like, for me, like, beans have to have burritos have to have beans is like a fucking law that burritos have to have beans for me. But not after 4 days of beans. I was fully embracing the dry rice because yeah, it's better than nothing but beans for 4 days. Um, and quick little experiences I learned from being homeless. I learned that you have so much more stress in your life. First of all, you don't know your spot. You know, your spot might be like patrolled by cops all night, and you've got to find somewhere else to sleep, or little shit like that. Like, it's really stressful. And then you're trying to get a job. At least I was, or you're trying to get your little money or whatever, and you're very stressed. I remember my dad sent me off with a book, and I couldn't even fucking read. Like, I meant, like, it's not like I was illiterate, but like my brain basically turned into a pile of gray mush, and I couldn't even read a book. Like, I couldn't even sit there and read. It was that bad. Uh, and it's really just difficult. And now whenever I see homeless people, I used to just drive past them, but now, like, assuming I have it, I always stop by and give them something. At the very least, I'll always have some quarter in my wallet or something. And yeah, so that is the story of me in California being homeless and running off. And yeah, and in case you're curious, I do plan on going back out there and living there. It's just it takes some time to be for somebody from a small city to be able to reasonably afford uh, an area like that and have the skills to be able to make enough money to reasonably afford it, basically. And that's the video. Yeah, give it a like. And I told one of my friends this story, and he's telling me, like, I could like make a really good book out of this, and a whole lot of people would want to buy it. Like, he's telling me, like, he would pay to hear my story. So I don't know if you have the same opinion, but if you have any type of comment, feel free to give it. Yeah.